Louise Roberts from the Daily Telegraph and Oliver Peterson, the 6PR Drive host, joining us from Perth. And Oliver, let's follow up this topic that I talked about at the top of the program, and that is just companies trying to get people back to work. And, of course, Marnie Baker from the Bendigo Adelaide Bank, she's copped a lot of criticism for saying what's pretty obvious, and that is it's good for everyone to get back into the workplace. Not just good for productivity, it's good for your mindset.
100%, Chris. I still can't believe there are people who are actually not back in the office. I know we've got this hybrid model now and people have got flexibility to be home a day or two a week or an afternoon if they need to, because we proved through COVID you could do a lot of stuff from home. But you want to be in the office. You want to be around your teammates. You want to be around your colleagues. You want to have those conversations face to face. And then if you've still got a few bucks left over with this cost of living crisis, support those local businesses that keeps the vibrancy in your CBD. I think Bendigo's just saying 2 days a week.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, that's reasonable. 5 is what we used to do. Come on, let's get back to work.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. And we're not saying that everybody should be a slave to the office 5 days a week and all that. We all know that the flexibility is a new thing. We want to embrace it. But when you're asked to turn up for just 2 days a week in a full-time job, that's not a big ask. Here's a refresher of what money...
Our branches and the people at the front line have been there the whole way through. 5 days a week. There's not too much to ask that the rest of the organisation starts to get back into the office more. That's the point, Louise. There's so many frontline workers and tradies and all sorts of people who have had to still go to work, and you got to think of those if you're just thinking that you can stay at home the whole time.
That's right. Hospital workers, medical staff, they can't do their job from home. Exactly. And I think 2 or 3 days a week is perfectly reasonable. The other 2 days, you've got your hybrid days. You can do what you need to do and work from home. But, I mean, she's absolutely right, Marnie. The fact that it is better. It's a more collegiate environment. You do actually get more work done. That might be controversial, but you do because you're interacting directly with your colleagues and your boss. There's corridor conversations. It's just a win.
Yeah, there's so much of that accidental cross-pollination that helps in every environment. Now, I want to get on to schools. So we've talked a lot about education the last couple of days. An encouraging story out of New South Wales where they're giving principals more power when it comes to discipline, whether they're suspending students or enforcing all sorts of discipline. Well, I think this is crucial, Louise, not just for principals, but for classroom teachers, just to have more authority. And at the moment, a lot of it's stripped away from them. They can't actually threaten kids with any punishment because they're not allowed to dish it out. So you've got to get some of that discipline back into the situation.
Absolutely, absolutely. And sometimes parents are even expecting the teachers to discipline them, which is probably not a good idea. But teachers are the CEO of the classroom. Their law is what should be obeyed. And anything we can do to support them and elevate them and give them the confidence to actually run a classroom properly. And look, we're only talking about a small amount of kids who actually are repeat offenders and have extended suspensions. But what about the kids who are constantly being interrupted? The kids who are there who want to learn and, you know, little Johnny is going off rogue and the teacher has to spend the entire lesson looking after them. So if they've got extra powers to remove them from the situation and teach the kids who want to learn.
They've got to have this. Oliver, it's fundamental. If you talk to any parents who are scrimping and saving to pay the fees to send their kids to a private school, usually the number one thing they'll say is they're doing that because they know there'll be more discipline. So we've got to help the state system get some of that discipline back as well.
And there's a direct correlation here to the NAPLAN results yesterday, where we've got 1 in 3 Australian school students failing literacy and 1 in 3 Australian school students failing numeracy. Discipline helps with that situation. It helps sort out the children who actually want to be in the classroom, who actually want to learn, to empower the teachers to be able to do the basics, reading, writing, arithmetic. It's pretty simple, Chris. So I think this is a great move. It's well overdue as well. We should be giving the teachers and our public schools around Australia all of the opportunities as well to discipline the children and sort out the ones who want to be there and the ones who don't, because they'll quickly learn the lesson, hey, being at home for a bit longer, it isn't as fun as you thought it would be. They want to come back to the classroom and actually get an education.
Actually, yeah, because everyone's at home. Mum and Dad are at home working because they can't get back into the office.